Good afternoon, my fellow dirty gardeners. I'm Iron, the Dirty Dragon. I have kind of a fun theme for today, which is how to bring in a couple of plants that are maybe a little bit whimsical. You may have gotten the impression that I like a little bit of whimsy. Like my dragon tats, for example. And my name, Dirty Dragon. Fantasy has always been a big part of my life. Fantasy has a genre. So I'm going to show you some things that tickled my fancy, and I think they might help to maybe lighten the mood or bring in different textures and shapes that kind of feel a little bit whimsical. It may also be really good for children's garden. Things that range from, kind of airy fairy, there's a lot of people right now that like the fairy gardens, all the way to the more sort of, Alice in Wonderland, acid trip kind of stuff. Maybe not quite that far, because I don't know if plants can really give that impression, but you know what I mean. Like stuff that's just maybe a little bit more fun in shape. Let's go see. Super fun plant to add whimsy. Check out the way it grows. Think Dr. Seuss, right? These are called whorls when they grow like this. Bloop, blob, bloop, blob. This is Flomis Russelliana. Anything that you might add that adds a lot of feathery, dainty texture like this. This is a nigella. These are the flowers. They range from white to purple to blue, and this is what the seed pod looks like as it develops. Anything that's airy like this that catches the light is going to add a lot of whimsy to a space. Just fairy type stuff. So that's one thing that you could add. Two different alliums that are really great for whimsical appeal. This is called Allium christofi, and you can see it's about the size of my hand, I guess. The globe. Really fun with all the little stars. It's like fireworks. This one grows, I guess it's probably about 30 inches tall. And because of the globe shape, that's what adds the whimsy. And then, of course, the stars, too. Anything that grows in kind of a asymmetrical shape, or twisty or curly, think Tim Burton kind of thing, or Dr. Seuss. So there's one of the alliums. I'll go to the back and show you the other one. The other allium I was talking about, it's almost done for the season now. These blue flowers belong to something else. Those are pretty too. But this is called Allium shuberty, and it grows maybe 2 feet tall, I guess, including all this height. But it's much bigger. Huge. Bigger fireworks, and not quite as put together, I guess. It's like it's in the process of exploding. But that's a super fun one. It does have the same typical allium flower, the little star-shaped flower. And so that's a really, really fun one to add whimsy. Heading into the shade now. I've got a fern here that's very whimsical looking. Look at that. Isn't that fun? That pup next door is not suffering, just so you know. He just wants to play with his friend who lives in the yard next to his. Anyway, this fern is called Atherium Felix Femina Victoriae. Try and get that one. I'll write it down for you guys. Very whimsical, good for the shade. Here's another fun one to add some whimsy. This is a grass called Brisa maxima, and it looks like little rattlesnake tails. It's called quaking grass, or rattlesnake grass, And as you can see, it's super fun, the shape of it. And it moves beautifully in the light and then the wind. So yeah, again, it's adding a little bit more of the sort of fun, whimsical element, just because of the shape of it. This one here is called Dianthus Rainbow Loveliness. I grew it from seed. There's a number of different colors, but it's super frilly and it catches the light beautifully. It looks like little fairy flowers. Even when it's getting older, the way it curls up, it looks very, very dainty and feathery. And it looks good with grasses. That's another one that would add some really nice whimsical touch to a garden. Fuzzy plants. Very whimsical, I think anyway. These guys are lamb's ears, kind of a garden workhorse. Super fuzzy, super soft. I love them, I love them, I love them, and so does my son, my little boy. They have little purple flowers, as you can see. They're just starting now. Super easy to grow. They're good for like hot, dry, crap soil. Yeah, they're a really fun plant. Here's another really fun fern to add some whimsy. This is called a tatted fern. You see how that looks? Isn't that cool? Tatting, just for those who aren't familiar, is a form of lace making, and it uses the hands only. And so that's why they called this a tatting fern. It kind of looks like handmade lace. So this one is in a lot of sun, actually. About probably 5 hours of sun a day. And it does pretty darn well next to the hostas here. This beautiful tree here is a contorted hazelnut, contorta. You can also get them with burgundy leaves, which is super, super pretty. I'll just take a look in the inside here so you can kind of get a better idea of how twisty it is. So in the winter, when the leaves fall off, all of this is showcased. And then in the spring, it's covered with 4-inch long yellow catkins. So it looks almost like it's been decorated. And the burgundy one has pink catkins. So that's a really fun one too for whimsical. This is a super cool little tree, Japonica spiralis. Take a closer look at these, let's see if I can zoom in here, at the foliage. That's where the spiralis comes in. I always thought it looked like dreadlocks, but looking at it right now, it looks kind of like maybe little unicorn horns, like that one there. This is a dwarf. It'll grow to only 5 feet tall. It's a cypress, so it's really drought tolerant and very compact, this particular variety. I'm pretty stoked to see it get a little bit bigger. It's only been in the ground at my place for about a year now, so it's very new to me. Tough little cookie and super fun. I mean, super fun. All these twisty little spirally, leafy needles. So cool. Japonica spiralis. This one here is fun in that it also has a really neat kind of growth shape and really stiff leaves. It will grow upright to about 3 to 4 feet, I'd say. Mine is in a pot, so it's a lot smaller. Once it reaches about 2 feet or 3 feet, it'll start to sort of arch over. But these stiff bluish leaves are really fun. It also has these nice flower, they actually are usually longer, much longer, but I think our cold spring has slowed them down quite a bit. Anyway, I didn't even tell you the name of this guy. It's Parahabee perfoliata. And it looks kind of like a eucalyptus, except that this one is a perennial. So yeah, this is actually really pretty also in a pot. if you want to have a smaller garden or put it in a pot in the midst of your other garden. But fun shape and neat kind of stiff waxy leaves. Parahabee perfoliata. Okay, this little guy right here is a tree, a dwarf tree called Larix contorta, which is a larch tree, which means that it loses its needles in the fall. It goes bright gold. But the contorta part means that it's twisty. You can see how the branches are kind of all contorted and twisted around. And that makes it a lot more fun. It's fun when it's in leaf like it is right now, and it's also fun once it's lost its leaves in the fall, because all that shape is maintained during the winter, and so it just kind of has maybe a quirky feel to it, I guess. So that's Larix contorta. Okay, so there's some ideas to add some whimsy, some fun, some playfulness, a little bit of quirkiness, some childlike textures and shapes, and I don't know, it just feels a little more creative, those types of things. So hopefully you got some ideas if you like that kind of thing. Peace out.